Hey guys, in this video we're going to be discussing animal cells, plant cells, and the differences in them. Okay, so let's first take a look at an animal cell. So this is basically what an animal cell looks like. It's got a membrane outside here, and this membrane is called the plasma membrane. Okay, this plasma membrane is a phospholipid bilayer with proteins inside it, and this membrane helps in transport of stuff. Separates basically internal environment from the external environment. It's involved in the cellular reception. Basically, this is where all the receptors are present on and where it'll bind. Okay, this matrix, the fluid stuff that's present here outside, it's called the cytoplasm, which has all the nutrients, mRNAs, and organelles inside it. Now here what you can see are these are the organelles. The one here in the center is the nucleus, which is the headquarter of a cell. Basically, it controls every single function of the cell. It's got all the genetic information. So this will make RNA, and which will then, cause protein synthesis and carry out various functions inside our body. Now, this one here, you see the zigzag structure. It looks like a stack of discs with these dots on. This is actually rough endoplasmic reticulum. But before we come to this, I want to talk about these dot-like structures here. These are actually your ribosomes, or you can call them as your protein factories, because these are responsible for protein synthesis in the cell. So the endoplasmic reticulum with these ribosomes on, it's called the rough endoplasmic reticulum. This reticulum, endoplasmic reticulum, is involved in protein synthesis, and this, which does not have these ribosomes or dots on it, it's called the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So the smooth endoplasmic reticulum is basically involved in detoxification and synthesis of lipids and all that. Okay, I hope you got the difference between the two of them. Then these sacs of it's the disc-like structures which you can see here, which are present right beside these endoplasmic reticulum. These is your Golgi body. The main function of Golgi body is to package stuff or modify stuff. Basically, if the proteins come from this endoplasmic reticulum into here, they can modify it into glycoproteins. Or if a lipid comes from here, then it will modify into glycolipids. So it can do that function. Apart from that, it is involved in packaging of stuff. So let's say nutrients come from this side, then from this side it will release certain vesicles with nutrients packaged inside them, and these vesicles can then leave this plasma membrane and travel outside. Okay, now you can see these small sac-like structures with little enzymes in it. Well, these are hydrolytic enzymes, and this organelle is called a lysosome. This lysosome is involved in degeneration, or I'll say digestion of nutrients. Okay, it's called hydrolytic enzymes inside it, which will digest the particles which come from outside. This little sac-like structure here, this is the vacuole. In animal cells, they might be present or they might not be. Okay, but they are not very big. We'll come to the differences later. Now, this structure you can see here, it's got one membrane inside, out the outside, and some infoldings on the inside. Well, this is the mitochondria. It's basically the powerhouse of cell and provides energy for all the necessary functions. And what you see, this organelle here making a right angle with its, doppelganger probably. Well, this is the centriole. The centriole is involved in cell division. Okay, they go on the opposite poles. Basically, it will duplicate itself, and they go to the opposite poles and involved in the separation of DNA. That's all the part of cell division, but yeah, just one thing to remember, the centrioles play an important part in cell division. Now, let's switch over to the plant cell. So the plant cell, which you can see here, first difference which you can already observe is that you see animals here have only one membrane. Plants have two of them. So this outer one, the shaded one, is called the cell wall. This is a rigid structure. The inner one, as we already know, it's the plasma membrane. Okay, so now the cell wall is very rigid structure which provides cell its shape. It's made of cellulose. Plasma membrane on the other hand, is quasi-fluid. Basically, it's flexible, it is stretchable. It can make invaginations, it can make vesicle out of itself. It's pretty flexible, whereas cell wall, it's quite rigid. Okay, this again is the nucleus. This is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Wait, let me just label it. Yep, so this is the nucleus. That S is not visible, but I hope you get the idea because it's the same structure. And this is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. You'll often see it noted as SER. This is the abbreviation for smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So in questions, you will most of the time see it as SER. And this is the rough endoplasmic reticulum, which you will mostly find as RER for the rough endoplasmic reticulum. This now is one more difference. You see, vacuoles in animal cells are not that big, like they're small, or on the other hand, completely absent. Plant cells have very large vacuoles. The reason behind this is that they need to store stuff. They need to store toxins and waste materials inside them, because humans have an excretory system, plants don't. So they will remove this waste at a particular time only, not regularly. So to store those toxins and waste materials, they need this large vacuoles. Okay, now back to the structure, which again does the packaging and all. Well, this is your Golgi body. There's not much space, so I'm writing on the top here. I'll just make a G out of this, because why not? And now this structure, you see, it's got a stack of discs or stones. It's what it looks like. Well, this actually is a chloroplast, or a specific, I'll say in general, it's called a plastid, but this is a specific type of plastid called chloroplast, and it's involved in photosynthesis. Animals don't have one because we don't photosynthesize at all. Plants do have chloroplasts. Then again, these granule-like structures, they are your ribosomes, because we know about it. This is mitochondria, which synthesizes energy and like basically makes ATP out of nutrients that it gets. And this again is your cytoplasm. So now again that we have a good idea of animal cell and a plant cell, let's come down to some basic differences. Okay, so here are some of the basic differences between animal cell and a plant cell. First is that animal cell only has a plasma membrane. Plant cells have both a cell wall and a plasma membrane. Okay. Second difference is that chloroplast is absent in animal cells because we don't need to make stuff because we just eat food. Plants make food, so they photosynthesize. So they have chloroplast or like other form of plastids as well. They're present in them. We don't have chloroplast or plastid. Then animal cells have centrioles in them. The cells divide here with the help of centriole. On the plant cells, they don't have centriole. They divide. It's what's called a plate formation, but it's a different thing. They form cell plates and all that, but it's a whole different topic. To remember is that they don't have a centriole and animal cells have centriole. Then, thing that I've been repeating so far, animal cells have small or no vacuole at all. Plant cells have large vacuoles. And lastly, animal cells can't photosynthesize because we don't have plastids. And plant cells can photosynthesize because they have this plastid, or specifically chloroplast. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much.